Jessica's back. Just wait for Minka to join us and see how many of the others are going to join us as well. Um, Minka and Nikita is also joining us. Nikita, are you going to pick another one for us? Or should we leave this up to should we leave this up to Kia? Who's going to who's going to pick another one? Pick one more service. We'll do one more service.
The HomeBot Fitness one.
The HomeBot Fitness one. All righty then. Let's go with HomeBot Fitness. As I said, it's again. Let's start. What's the purpose? What's the purpose of having a home trainer? Is there a market for a home trainer? Because I mean, it's an industry. I think more than 300,000 people did not renew their memberships or terminated their memberships at Virgin Active last year. So is there? I mean, is the industry going to survive? At the moment, I think they are struggling like most industries because they are very dependent on their membership fees. You can't all of a sudden say, right, I have 15 treadmills and I've got 15 stationary bikes, and that's just for the normal warm-up area or the cardio area, and maybe I have a few eucalyptic climbers that is also in that cardio area, and a few rowers. You're looking at anything from 24 to 54, sometimes even 84, depending on the functions that the particular bike or treadmill can perform per item. So that's a substantial amount. And if you have half the people, or you can only allow half the people to be to come to the gym, people are still going to go to the gym primarily during the peak hours. It's going to be, and the peak hours usually for gymming is between 5 and 8 in the mornings, and between 5 and 8 in the evenings. Those are your peak hours. During the day, there are people, yes, it could be retired individuals, could be people working for themselves who own their own businesses, who have flexible hours, could be school children in the afternoon after 2 when the school's out. So there's a constant flow, but those are your real peak hours. Now, the peak hours are usually the people who are very conscious about exercise, their lifestyle. They're not going to miss a session, and they will almost be there every morning at 5, 5:30, whatever, on the way to work or immediately after work in the afternoon, if it's between 5 and 8 in the afternoon. So those people are the ones who are not going to terminate their memberships. They will continue, but the amount of people that are allowed through the doors during those hours or at a particular point are now being regulated. So it will impact on their bottom line. So a lot of people have actually decided to rather go the home gym thing. A friend of mine, for instance, said that he's trained harder during lockdown than actually during normal hours and times, because he used to, either before work or after work, got in his car and drove to the gym. That took him 15 minutes to get there, 50 minutes to get back. If it's in the morning on the way to work, he has to also take his work clothes with. He showers there, and after he's trained for an hour, hour and a half. So it's using the time well, but it becomes a slip. So now during lockdown, he trained, as I said, 3, 4, 5 times in shorter stints during the day because he was working from home. I think a lot of people have modified that and realized, oh my goodness, it's actually quite nice outside. Especially if you've been in hard lockdown for a couple of months and now you realize it actually is quite nice outside. But remember last year, this time, Well, not this time last year. Yeah, we're around about this time last year. You're not permitted outside, and then we were, and then immediately after the hard lockdown was over, you could train between only 6 and 9 in the morning. It's ridiculous. But again, we went through all of that, and as a result of um, the challenges that the industry has faced, and even before that, there were a lot of people actually who preferred to train at home. People have, they usually modify some area in their house. It's usually the braai room, or it's an undercover a patio at the um, around the house, or their garages. They have, and some people are fortunate enough that they actually have room that is only used for training. But your home trainer will go to the customer, and they will take all the equipment with that's necessary. That's the other benefit. People don't often use the service of a home trainer because they do not have all the equipment at home. But you're not required to have all the equipment at home. That's why it's called home training. So the creativity of the personal trainers needs to be very high, because they need to look at alternative ways of exercising, and obviously only limiting themselves to the use of certain apparatus that they can transport. They can't put um, a treadmill or a stationary bike on the back of their cars, or on a trailer and unload it every time they at a client. It doesn't work. It's a heavy item. Treadmills definitely not. Maybe still a stationary bike, but some people who are training at home have a stationary bike of some sort. The the HomeBot fitness service would be, if we look at the physical evidence, we again would be looking at a website that allows the customers or potential clients the opportunity to book sessions certain times during the day. There is obviously an invoicing system and some admin that needs to be done. You still have to do your declarations and your health screening that needs to happen with, regardless if you're training at home or if you're doing it at the gym. Now it's just the personal trainer who goes to the client's home that have to perform that, where maybe somebody else at the gym, a fitness consultant, could have done that particular screening session. So, in other words, the invoicing and admin of booking the service um, is 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 um, is essential. Um, the actions that the customer takes is to actually go onto the website to book a session, um, to then obviously um, be at home when that session needs to take place, and then obviously doing the regular payments, and ensuring that, like most home trainers, using apps where they can, where the session is recorded that you do. You can maybe later on watch it again if you want to maybe do an additional training session. Trainers also sometimes use, maybe I prefer to, some people prefer to train 5 days a week and then take a couple of days off, or maybe just even one day. Some people prefer to train cardio 3 days a week and then weights only 2 days a week. Some people do the exact reverse of that. So maybe one of the services or the popular services for a home trainer would be to do the gym sessions, where the client requires support when there's lifting of weights involved, of a professional, on say the Monday, the Wednesday, and the Friday, and then send exercises that doesn't require the use of weight, but maybe body weight, or that is cardio related, like skipping rope or running on the spot and stuff like that. Um, or if they have a stationary bike at home or a treadmill at home, maybe to do that on the other days, and they can just send them um, instructions on what the particular program on those days should be. It's quite popularly used by personal trainers nowadays. Um, then um, If we look at the front and the back office, usually when it's home trainers, they are the front and the back office. They are the ones who work for themselves. They're usually sole proprietors. There's not too many home trainers that I know that have that that is in partnership with one or two other trainers. Maybe not later on, but not initially. They want to build a clientele first. Very often, when they become very popular and they cannot go to all the clients that inquire about the service, they maybe get additional trainers into a system, and then it becomes a home-based gym, or it even becomes a small facility. Um, and there's many of those smaller gyms around nowadays. I think at some point the rate of the smaller gyms opening in relation to Virgin Actives and Planet Fitness and those big groups opening and Zone Fitness was 5 to 1. For every Virgin Active or Planet Fitness that opened, 5 smaller gyms opened. So it is quite popular, but very often it starts with a home based one man show or sole proprietor type of business format. Um, in a case like that, then obviously the trainer would be would, the personal trainer, him or herself, would be the front end, would be responsible for both the front and the back office activities, because there's no other employees involved. Um, the setting up of the session, the conducting of the session, the feedback after the session, everything is done by the same person. If the business grows, like I think HomeBot has, there are maybe other people who are responsible for the administration, maybe uploading videos onto the sites, maybe sending out notifications, invoices, ensuring that all the admin is in place, and then obviously also performing the services of those group sessions. If you're a personal trainer, um, you can only service a client at home that's right in front of you. You cannot be at more than one place. Um, if your business then grows, or for your business to grow, you need to get more people employed who can offer the same service to a different client at the same time at a different venue. And then when there's group sessions involved, obviously, they can also perform it at the same time. So it's basically running a gym, a small gym that is home based, and it doesn't have any overheads where they are renting equipment like treadmills and equipment and stationary bikes and stuff like that. Um, um, and entertaining people, hosting people for training sessions. They are going to the client. Um, the support services that could be used here could be, as I said, would only be once your businesses grow. But the support services could be the agreement that you have in place, maybe with one of the local gyms, that you can maybe record and stream a group session live to people at home who wants to do that group activity at home. I know, for instance, my wife has been a master spinning instructor, and in fact, she trains spinning instructors, or did train spinning instructors. At the moment, she's too involved with other things, so she's just teaching some spinning classes 3, 4 times a week. But I know that some of the sessions that she did at Tiger Valley, for instance, um, people had to be turned away for those during those peak hours for a spinning. There's 50, I think there's 54 bikes in the studio, in the big studio, and all bikes were occupied, and people actually had to be turned away. Virgin Active then changed it to a booking service where you actually have to go onto their site and book your bike. You get the number and you book that number. That's your bike. It's like booking a seat for the movies. Um, but now they still have the 54 bikes, but they can only have half the amount of people in the class. So there would be probably a lot of people who are still want to do that particular class, but they can now stream it live from that particular venue, and you can be on your stationary bike at home. That's also part of the services that's offered, but there you require the assistance um, of of a support service, um, like in this case, a good relationship with the gym. Obviously, it will come at a cost, but that would be a service that could very easily be offered by or through outsourcing, for instance. Anybody else? I know that some of these trainers also offer nutritional advice. I know that most of them are aware of the fact that it's not within their scope of practice. They can not make recommendations when it comes to nutritional products um, and diets. I know a lot of people do approach them and ask them about it, but unfortunately, it's not within their scope of practice. So maybe one of the additional support services that could form part of the home trainer's business is an alliance with a dietitian or a nutritionist that would then be able to supply the home client with a diet and supplementary advice um, on what products to use to make the whole exercise program, or to make the exercise program more efficient. Anybody at this stage, any questions? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All good? Okay. All right. So let's finish the session today. What we'll do for tomorrow. For tomorrow, I want you to now look at the two services that we have not done today. That's Delico and Golf to Africa. We'll look at those two service providers, and what we will do with those two service providers is that we will develop a service quality matrix and discuss the service quality matrix for those two services, Golf to Africa and Delico. Everybody good with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now you can actually go and enjoy the rest of the day. I'm going to pick my kid up at school. Then I'm going to have my spinning bike serviced so I can train again this evening. If everything goes well, we'll chat again tomorrow, third period. And we'll do the service quality matrix for Delico and for Golf to Africa. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mika. Thanks, Paige. We'll chat again tomorrow.
Bye, sir.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye, Jessica.